Welcome, Gunrunner.
Hello everybody, it's Kieran aka the Laird here, and I've got a book review for you today. And I haven't done a book review for a while, so it's nice to get some more of these coming in. I've got a couple on the way actually, as well as this one. But this is a new one that's just come out, and I was lucky enough to get an exclusive look at this book. I've had the book now for a good few weeks. I did a little bit of help with looking over, checking mistakes, and seeing how it came out. Basically, I was a bit of a guinea pig in terms of receiving the book. So it's by, for those who don't know, it's by Shaun McClure and Hilary. Now, Shaun McClure is not to be confused with the character from The Simpsons. He is, in fact, a I'm trying to think the best way to describe it. He was an artist from the many years of the Spectrum and other systems. The Spectrum was where he started, though. So he's maybe sort of not super famous, but his body of work is bloody incredible, to say the least. If you go and actually look at the amount of games that he worked on over the years, you'd be absolutely stunned. I mean, as well as the Spectrum stuff, I mean, he worked on just about everything. You know, Mega Drive and Atari Jaguar and Amiga ST. You know, if you put Game Boy, you can pretty much name a system, and he probably worked on it at some point in his career and did the art. He's not in the industry anymore, but as of late, he's started to get a real hankering to relive those old days, and he already did a first book of his memoirs, sort of thing, from working in the industry, and now he's decided to do something different. And actually, it's going to be part of a series of books looking at the games from the computer where it all started for him, the Spectrum. So this is the Guide to ZX Spectrum Games, 1982 to 1984, and it also includes developer interviews, as it said. So it's not just straight old game reviews. So for some reason my cover's curled a little bit. I'm not sure why. I think that's where I had it standing on the shelf. But you can see that it's a big old thing, real big old tome, massive thing, and what else to say? A couple of little pictures on the back, and I will actually allude to these because it says who's in it. You see there's people like Steve Turner, Mel Croucher, Scott Adams, Kevin Toms, Malcolm Evans, Don Priestley, Mike Lamb, John Rittman. So there's a real plethora of amazing people in there. Introduction by Roger Keane of Crash fame, and going back to these little pictures, illustrations by Robin Grenville Evans, who, if you don't know, did all the artwork for Automators games with Mel Croucher. And I was lucky enough to meet Robin about a month or so ago at a party, and he did some lovely pictures of me and my wife, which were absolutely fantastic. They were really good. He's such a talented artist. I can't even begin to explain what a cool guy he was. And you'll see here it has got a little synopsis. He worked for people like Gremlin, Ocean, Activision, Codemasters, Alternatives. So lots of people, lots of very famous people. I got to know him originally because of his work that he actually did for Imagitech Design, a company that I've written about, Retro Gamer, and ended up getting to know quite a few people who worked there. So yeah, that's how, but we've remained friends ever since, and a really cool guy. So let's have a look. So I'm not going to go through the whole book because it would be literally impossible because this book is massive. So I'm just sort of going to give you a brief flick through, really. So it's got obviously an intro and stuff like that. I'll give you a little look at that. So, oh, sorry, I managed to have turned on my computer by accident there. So there's a bit of the classic Automator artwork there. And a lovely little intro from comedian Richard Herring there, which is really cool. That was great to see. That was. And these pictures are absolutely brilliant, and they're throughout. They are. So you've got a pretty lengthy index here telling you what's in here. So we'll skip forward a little bit. So straight away there's a nice chat with Mel Croucher. Mel's a great guy. I've met him myself a few times, and genuinely very funny guy in real life. His games were strange and wacky, and he's every bit the character that you would imagine him to be, and more. It has to be said that he's a really entertaining guy. So each game, I mean, survival. That's a classic there, using that term very loosely. One of the most common Spectrum games, but each one has a screenshot. It's all in black and white, and then a decent review. Thruster by Software Projects. So he's pretty much covered everything. It's got some original artwork in here. See, each review is sort of about a page and a half. So that's funny that I've skipped straight to another one by Crystal. So there's another interview. So just to see what a little bit it's like. There's Kevin Toms of Football Manager fame, who's another guy who's made a comeback recently with his new version of Football Manager that he's done for mobiles. It covers everything here, from really simple games like Cyber Rat Server, Silversoft, Halls of the Things. That's quite a popular game, that one. Another interview there, Simon Brattle. There's some great original artwork for Automator again. Morris Meets the Bikers. Troon by Hornby Software. I don't remember that Hornby did games. I assume that's the same Hornby who did trains. Transylvanian Tower, pretty horrible. Yeah, pretty horrible graphics in that case, it looks like. Android by Vortex. Oh, there's a nice bit of artwork there. Arctic Bear Bother. Hope you can see this okay, because the light isn't the best, but it's quite hard using a black and white book as well. So it doesn't exactly leap out the pages as much as some of the sort of big colour coffee table books I've looked at. Mugsy. Classic that. I played a lot of that when I was a kid. Really, really clever game. Also tells you obviously who programmed them, who did the art, publishers, stuff like that. Stonkers, that's quite a highly regarded game from the early days of Imagine. Bruce Lee, another classic there. Trans Am, one of Ultimate Play the Game's lesser known games, I think it's fair to say. It's not one of the ones you hear talked about that much. Valhalla. Alchemist, you'll see it's not alphabetical order. I think it's more done by roughly when they came out, but there's some nice pictures from the old days there. Some of them in here as well. Eskimo Ready, one of Ocean's earlier games. Pinball Wizard. Pterodactyl 4D, an amazing sounding game that wasn't quite so amazing. Booty, classic there from Firebird. Match Day. I have to confess, I didn't realise that was such an early game. I thought it was a bit later. School Days, one of the best games ever made for the Spectrum, only surpassed by its even a more amazing sequel, Back to School. It's 1994. Lunar Jetman, one of Ultimate's better known games. There's a nice bit of artwork. Dark Star, I had that game. It was quite good, what I remember. I think it's a bit like Star Wars meets Star Raiders, kind of. I remember rightly. Saber Wolf. Lords of Midnight. I mean, it's packed with classics there. Automania. Cosmic Kanga. There's a Quest Pro featuring the Hulk. Way before the Marvel Universe became as big as it is now. There was a lot of adventure games based on the Marvel Universe. There's some great Scott Adams photos along with the interview with him. Hero by Activision, an absolute classic. Jack and the Beanstalk, a game with amazing graphics but plays like an absolute dog because collision detection is probably some of the worst I've ever seen in any game. Awful, really terrible game. Sherlock's, his text adventures in here as well. Tana Nog, another favourite for many people. Avalon. Full Throttle. Tornado Low Level. That's an amazing game. Combat Links, I liked that as well. Good. 3D Star Strike. That was a great kind of knockoff of Atari Star Wars. A chat with Ian Oliver, who programmed the game. There we go. And there's some more for Robin's great artwork about the authors. I mean, these are great pictures. Really good. A bit more about them. An email if you want to contact them. And that's his other book. There we go. Video Game Development, The Rock and Roll Years by Shaun McClure. That's it. I was trying to remember that. So, yeah. It's a big old book. As you've seen, printed by Amazon, so it's done by print on demand. So it's it can be ordered as well. I believe there's going to be a Kindle version for those who don't want to buy a big old book like this. I can't remember the exact price, but I'll stick a link in for it below of where you can buy it on Amazon for when it's out. But given an unbiased view, although I know Shaun personally, I've known him for quite a few years, and he was kind enough to give me this book for free. Anyone who watches my channel will know I don't generally mince my words with these kind of things. Even if I've got the book for free, even if the person's someone I know, I will say what I think of it. I've been a bit critical of some of Chris's work before, for example, and I've written stuff for Chris Wilkins, that is, for those who don't know. So I will always be honest with books. But I thought this was great. The sheer size of it blew me away. That was the first thing. You're getting real value for money with this book. So much has gone into it, and to have such a comprehensive guide to Spectrum games, which is something that nobody's ever done before. I mean, I've done something similar kind of myself recently with my ebooks that are basically reviews, but I have gone for the A to Z format, and mine are all over the shop from, the original 1982 right up to the present day. But this is a chronological account, and I think it's great because if I didn't get my Spectrum until 1987, I think it was. So to see the older games is always cool, because there's a lot of older ones that I missed out on, I didn't know, because of when I got my Spectrum was much later, good 5 years after it was released. So I'm as good as my knowledge is of the gaming scene and the Spectrum especially, actually, I'm still finding games I didn't know about, and games I want to give a play, and books like this are where you find them. And it's not a book you're going to finish quickly. It's full of nostalgia. It's full of great reviews, some real honest opinions in there, and the interviews just top it off. So to be honest, I can't recommend this book highly enough. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I'm highly commend Shaun and Hilary for the work they've done. And Shaun did take a little bit of stick for his first book that he did, because there was a lot of errors in there in terms of grammar and spelling and stuff like that. And he knows he's not a writer, and he fully admits that. But he's got a lot of help with this one, and he's really done a great job. And all the people have helped him sort of put it together and proofread it and make the corrections and stuff. It couldn't have come out better. So yeah, bravo. And as I said, I highly recommend picking this one up. So I hope you've enjoyed my review of Guide to ZX Spectrum Games. Please give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you all again for another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.